Hi, I'm Brad Johnson from Genius Phone Repair. We're here with another Tech Tuesday segment, going over some technology solutions. Today I'm here with Alicia Wiggin, and we're going to be talking about some water damage treatment. I'm sure everybody has ran into the situation with getting their phone liquid damaged. So, Alicia, if I were, let's hypothetically saying, I were to drop this phone into a pool, what would I need to do? What would be my next steps?
Absolutely. And as hypothetical as it might sound, the number of people who come into Genius Phone Repair because it was in their pocket and they jumped in the pool. It's what happens all summer long and spring break coming up. So if it goes into water, say there's a cup of water here, really there's ports that are open on your device, and that's what we're worried about. The charging port, the headphone jack, speakers, all of those let water inside your device. And the first thing you want to do as a consumer, remove it from water, obviously. If it's still on, turn it off, and then you want to get it dry. Okay. And that's really, a lot of people start trying to use it right away, saying, oh no, did the water damage it? The first step is turn it off so there's no more electricity interacting with water, and then get it dry.
So what about the devices that like for example, my iPhone 10 I thought was waterproof or water resistant?
Yeah.
So does it not really water resistant, or?
So phones that are water resistant are truly water resistant. A lot of them have a watertight seal to keep the device together, and even things like the charging port and the ports on the inside, those are water sealed. So if you're in the car and you've got your mug of coffee there, or just breakfast and you haven't drank it yet, so you're still a little fuzzy, if it goes into that mug of coffee or water, whatever it is, your water resistant device still just needs to be dried off before you plug it in. That's the biggest thing. If it's a splash of water or it goes in for a second, you want to make sure that you don't take it and plug it into the charger, because that charger with the water is going to start to cause some damage to your device. But if you leave it and shake it off, make sure it's dry, then you're going to be okay.
I got you. So if my phone was submerged at the bottom of a pool, it's a different story. Now I've heard, put it in rice. I've heard lots of different things.
Yeah.
Is that not the right thing to do, the rice situation?
Putting it in rice doesn't really do a lot. If we've had phones brought in that were left in water for a long time, completely submerged, water got into the device, you put it in a bag of rice, when you open that phone, it's still wet on the inside because the rice doesn't get inside the device to actually absorb the water. So while it's a good idea, a lot of times it just gets more dust in your phone. So water-resistant devices, if those are in things like salt water or chlorinated water for an extended period of time, that's where they lose their water resistance. That will start to break down the seal on the device, and then the water will eventually seep in. So if it's in for a longer period of time, you still want to bring it into Genius Phone Repair. If your phone's not water resistant, which for a lot of us, our phones aren't water resistant, if you get water on it, again, turn it off and bring it in so we can open it and make sure it's really dried out.
Okay, awesome. So are you going to give us kind of a demonstration after I bring this phone, I turn it off, and I bring it into Genius Phone Repair, what happens to the phone next?
Yeah, so your device, you've turned it off, you've made sure that you're not plugging it in, you're not trying to get it restarted again. Just get some professional advice on making sure it's dried out. What we do is we open that device up, and there's different indicators. When it turns red on the inside, that shows us that it has been water damaged, but it also starts to corrode in different areas. And so what we can see is that water was in the device while it was still on, and it's that connection, that electricity and water, that starts to corrode pieces on the board as the electricity is coursing through it, and then eventually your phone doesn't turn on anymore, which is how some people end up with us. Maybe the battery is what's corroding, maybe the screen is. But if you bring it into us, a lot of times we're able to either resurrect your whole device or at least get information off. And we do that through our water damage process. So on a water damaged device you've brought into us, we would take out the motherboard. This is one opened up on the inside of an iPhone. But I have another one here. We're going to take that out and remove as many of the shields as we can, because this is really like the brain of your device. At that point, we have an ultrasonic cleaner in our stores with isopropyl alcohol, and that's a high proof isopropyl alcohol because the higher the percentages, the more it will be able to eat away the corrosion on the board, and also it has less liquid that could re-damage your device. So this is, even though we say don't put your device in water, don't take it in the pool, you can completely submerge it into this alcohol bath because the rubbing alcohol only corrodes it. It's not conductive at all for electricity. So we put it in the bath, and then while it's in there in this ultrasonic bath, we would turn this on, and what it does is it vibrates and it gets the liquid underneath shields onto the board, and it really soaks in. You leave it for around 5 minutes. That gives it an opportunity for the alcohol to really work on the corrosion that's on the board.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And so is it just as simple as that, and then you put the foam back together after drying everything off?
So once it's been treated, then a technician will take it out. They'll use an anti-static brush to start cleaning some of that corrosion off and start to pinpoint areas. Sometimes if you clean the corrosion off, the motherboard is still good underneath it. Sometimes once you clean that corrosion off, it's actually broken parts off of the board. And so then maybe further repair is still needed. Maybe the screen or the battery has been damaged because they were submerged in water, but if you replace those parts, it's going to work. So we go through a diagnostic process at that point. We clean it off, put the foam back together, and then we would update our customers with what it's going to take to fix the device, whether we were able to recover data, that sort of thing.
Okay. Awesome.
That's basically our water damage process. The biggest thing to remember for a consumer is if it gets in water, you want to turn it off and dry it out before you plug it in again. Mixing electricity and water, we all know since we were little, that's not a great idea. It's the same thing with your phone. If you're at all worried about whether or not your phone's water resistant, how long it's been in water, what type of liquid, bring it into Genius Phone Repair and we'll do a water damage treatment for you. Thank you for joining us for this week's Tech Tuesday with water damage tips and solutions for what might happen to you this summer or this spring break. Make sure to follow Genius Phone Repair on Facebook to stay up to date with what our offers are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.